Jeremiah's Song, Part 2, starting on page 17. I didn't think I was supposed to say anything about that to Megan, but once when Ellie, Sister Todd, and Megan were out on the porch shelling butter beans after Grandpa got tired and was resting, I went into his room and told him what Ellie had said. She said that? Grandpa Jeremiah's face was skinny and old-looking, but his eyes looked like a baby's. They was so bright. Right there in the kitchen is where she said it, I said, and I don't know what it meant, but I was wondering about it. I didn't think she had any feelings for them stories, Grandpa Jeremiah said. If she thinks we talk in secrets, maybe she don't. I think she getting a feeling for Megan, I said. That's okay too, Grandpa Jeremiah said. They're both young. Yeah, but them stories you be telling, Grandpa, they about old people who lived a long time ago, I said. Well, those the folks you got to know about, Grandpa Jeremiah said. You think on what those folks been through and what they was feeling, and you add it up with what you been through and what you been feeling, then you got something. What you got, Grandpa? You got a bridge, Grandpa said, and a meaning. When things get so hard you about to break, you can sneak across that bridge and see some folks who went before you and see how they didn't break. Some got bent and some got twisted, and few fell along the way, but they didn't break. Am I going to break, Grandpa? You, as strong as you is? Grandpa Jeremiah pushed himself up on his elbow and gave me a look. No way you going to break, boy. You gonna be as strong as they come. One day you gonna tell all them stories I told you to your young'uns, and they'll be as strong as you. Suppose I ain't got no stories. Can I make some up? Sure you can, boy. You can make 'em up and twist 'em round. Don't make no mind, long as you got 'em. Is that what Megan is doing, I asked, making up stories to play on his guitar? He'll do with 'em what he see fit, I suppose, Grandpa Jeremiah said. Can't ask more than that from a man. It rained the first 3 days of August. It wasn't a hard rain, but it rained anyway. The mailman said it was good for the crops over east. But I didn't care about that, so I didn't pay him no mind. What I did mind was when it rained like that, the field mice come in and get in things like the flour bin, and I always got the blame for leaving it open. When the rain stopped, I was pretty glad. Megan come over and sat with Grandpa and had something to eat with us. Sister Todd come over too. How Grandpa doing? Sister Todd asked. They'd been asking about him in church. He's doing all right, Ellie said. He's kind of quiet today, Megan said. He was just talking about how the hogs need breeding. He must have run out of stories to tell, Sister Todd said. He'll be repeating on himself like my father used to do. That's the way I hear old folks get. Everybody laughed at that because Sister Todd was pretty old too. Maybe we was all happy because the sun was out after so much rain. When Sister Todd went in to take Grandpa Jeremiah a plate of potato salad with no mayonnaise like he liked it, she told him about how people was asking for him, and he told her to tell them he was doing okay and to remember him in their prayers. Sister Todd came over the next afternoon too with some rhubarb pie with cheese on it, which is my favorite pie. When she took a piece into Grandpa Jeremiah's room, she come right out again and told Ellie to go fetch the Bible. It was a hot day when they had the funeral. Most everybody was there. The church was hot as anything, even though they had the window open. Some yellow jacks flew in and buzzed around Sister Todd's niece, and then around Deacon Turner's wife, and settled right on her hat, and stayed there until we all stood and sang, "Soon a will be done." At the graveyard, Megan played Precious Lord. I cried hard, even though I told myself that I wasn't going to cry the way Ellie and Sister Todd was. But it was such a sad thing when we left and Grandpa Jeremiah was still out to the grave that I couldn't help it. During the funeral and all, Megan kind of told everybody where to go and where to sit and which of the 3 cars to ride in. After it was over, he come by the house and sat on the front porch and played on his guitar. Ellie was standing, leaning against the rail, and she was crying, But it wasn't a hard crying, it was a soft crying, the kind that lasts inside of you for a long time. Macon was playing a tune I haven't heard before. I thought it might have been what he was working at when Grandpa Jeremiah was telling him those stories. And I watched his fingers, but I couldn't tell if it was or not. It was nothing special. That tune Macon was playing, maybe halfway between them Delta blues he would do when Sister Todd wasn't around, and something he would play at church. It was something different and something the same at the same time. I watched his fingers go over that guitar, and I figured I could learn that tune one day, if I had a mind to.